guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford, and today is a very special day. We have the new, refreshed for 2019 Shelby GT350. Let's talk a little bit about history. So Carroll Shelby, that famous name in racing, he actually was a race car driver himself. A lot of people don't remember that, and the only reason that he stopped racing was because of his ticker, his heart. He had learned that he had a bad heart, and that's why for so many years he was so generous to donating to Children's Heart Association to try to find cures for heart defects and all that great stuff. He actually won the 24 Hours of Le Mans with Aston Martin. It was though that call that he got from Ford Motor Company to get associated with the Mustang. Mustang came out in 1964 and a half. The 1965 Shelby GT350 was unstoppable on the racetracks. Fast forward to 1967, that's the first time that there was a Shelby GT500. And the reason why I bring that up is because with this 2019 GT350, it's the first time since 1970 basically where there's a GT350 available and a GT500, because the GT500 GT350 combo went 67, 68, 69, and then 70 was the last year until now. Now this particular generation of GT350 came out on the scene in 2015. A lot of people forget that. It was very low numbers, but it was 2015. With 2019, they've refreshed and redesigned some of the bits and pieces, and I'm gonna take you real deep into those areas to show you how that 2015 to 2018 is gonna be different from the 2019. So let's go ahead and dive into this Velocity Blue. Right off the bat, this is the first time that Velocity Blue has been offered on a GT350. GT350 has the older style headlights. So if you look at a 2019 Mustang GT, headlights are different. I love the look. I love the tri-bar daytime running lights. As we go down, functional venting. You have your transmission cooler, all different coolers at the front of the Shelby GT350. The addition of the front splitter all the way across. And I really like how they embossed the Shelby logo right into that front splitter. That's gonna help scoop air, like a big shovel, gonna scoop air and force it into that larger radiator. What they did for 2019, this front fascia has been nipped and tucked for better airflow. The hood on the 2019 actually sits lower. You could see how it slopes down, sitting lower for improved aerodynamics. Another thing, and I'm gonna have Tom show off his camera skills, is this opening behind the grille. They've actually designed it a little differently. The older design was more of just a straight up rectangle. If you notice, it's got some cutouts in there. So that's all different. And then lurking lower is gonna be some changes as well. The belly pan under this car has been upgraded, all to increase airflow across the top and on the bottom, but really menacing that GT350 logo. Now, still for 2019, you can get the GT350R. This is the standard GT350, and it's got that same Voodoo engine, 526 horsepower, 5.2 liter V8, functional heat extractors. I really like the black racing stripes with the Velocity Blue, and I also really like the gunmetal pinstriping on the side. Very nice touch, really blends in perfectly. Because I'll be honest, I didn't think Velocity Blue was gonna work on a GT350. I'm wrong, I'll admit it. It works to a T. As we come to the side, there they are, brand new for 2019. This is a special design wheel just for the standard GT350, because the GT350R still gets those carbon fiber wheels. Lurking behind this 19-inch wheel, you have 15.2-inch rotors, massive rotors the size of New York pizzas, aluminum hats. Now, if you've ever wondered what does an aluminum hat do, it's gonna lower the rotating mass, which is going to quicken up the steering, but it also allows the brake the brake rotor, which is steel, to cool faster. Massive 6-piston Brembo calipers. Really like the look, the flat black. Up front, you got 295/35, so 295 wide, 35 is going to be the sidewall. These are Pirelli Cup 2, the first time you could get a GT, standard GT350 comes standard with Pirelli Cup 2 tires. That was only available on the R. Underneath the fenders, retweaked MagneRide suspension. So track focus set up just for this particular car has been adapted and changed because of all the race wins that the Shelby has been getting on the track in that Mustang GT4 guys. So as we come down the side, we still have, remember, wider fenders. These fenders are aluminum, hood is aluminum. That's how we're cutting weight. Wider fenders gives the car a wider look. I'm gonna have Tom kind of sweep around and show you that functional duct that's gonna help channel air down the side. Tom, show them the back end of the tire. You can see the tread on a Cup 2. Those tires are gonna last you about 10,000 miles on the road. They are meant for track day use, track day abuse. Some other things I wanna point out is I like the black mirrors, especially with the black racing stripes. And then out back, this is where we're gonna have the 305. So this is a 305 rear tire, very meaty. You got a 4-piston caliper. Really think it was smart. I love the design of the wheel and I love the way that it's gloss black. Very, very nice touch. And then to wrap it out the rear, here's the next biggest piece of the different puzzle. Check out the rear wing, new for the GT350, not made out of carbon fiber. If you want carbon fiber, you're gonna have to go GT350R, but much higher than the outgoing GT350, fully functional. Now there are some options that are new for 2019. You could get a handling package, which comes with a gurney strip that would go across the back here. The gurney strip provides more downforce. Here's a little quiz for you. Why do they call it a gurney strip or a gurney flap? The reason why is because of a famous racer, Dan Gurney, who recently passed away a couple years ago. He was also into engineering, and he discovered that if you add an extra piece of material across the back of a spoiler, you're gonna get more downforce. So thank you, Dan Gurney. May you rest in peace. He was an amazing man, amazing race car driver. To finish out the back, love the width. You got the Shelby GT350 logo. I love the way that Ford brings the stripes all the way down. Rear diffuser is functional. Now what's interesting is the rear diffuser also houses the diff cooler. So one of the things that could get very hot on track day use is the differential. 373 gears, obviously limited slip differential. Diff cooler is behind this rear diffuser. Very short tubing to get that diff to stay nice and cool. And then you have the large exhaust outlets, which once again are active exhaust. So you could actually adjust the volume, quiet mode or track mode to make that Voodoo engine rumble. Speaking of the Voodoo, let's go pop the hood and check her out. All right guys, here we are underneath the hood of this Street Beast. Like I said, aluminum hood. You could see the functional heat extractor built into the hood there. And then as we transition down, there she is. One of a kind, 5.2 liter V8. This is the one with the flat plane forged crankshaft. That's gonna allow that engine, that 5.2 liter V8 to spin up to 8,250 RPM. You're looking at 526 horsepower, 429 foot-pounds of torque. Like I said, 373 gears out back, rotors 15.5 up front, and if you want your wheel dimensions, you're looking at 19 by 10.5 up front, 19 by 11 out back. Beautiful setup. I love that massive strut tower brace, the way it says Ford Performance. You have the two gentlemen that handcrafted this engine. The engine is assembled by hand. Love the intake plenum, no plastic covering everything. Looks great just the way she is. I love every inch of her. I promise I would buy this car in a heartbeat if I had the means right now. You have your open air box, the cone filter there, that's gonna help get more air into the engine. And remember, at the end of the day, this isn't a drag strip car. Yeah, you could take it to the drag strip, but if you think that this is about getting to 9-second quarter mile, you live your life, 9 seconds at a time. First of all, if you do that, I feel sorry, but with this, it's about going out on the road course. This car is so balanced from front to back that Tremec, this one is mated to the Tremec 6-speed manual transmission. It's such a perfect combination, but just like every other moment with this GT350, if you're ready to fire it up, you know I am. Let's go ahead and fire up this GT350. guys, we're in the 2019 Shelby GT350. This is the first one in the Tri-County area where I live. If you're wondering what is MSRP on this particular one, you're looking at around $64,000 the way that it sits. Now there are some new options that we're going to talk about in a second, but let's go ahead, start with the door panel and see where we're at. So a lot of the interior is carryover from last year. I do like the lighter gray Alcantara with the white contrast stitching, but everything else on that door panel screams regular Ford Mustang. So you're not going to get a lot of bells and whistles on the door panel compared to, say, a Mustang GT. Here's where there's a difference. You get your GT350 badge, specific chassis number. I like the soft material on the dual cowl dash. Option, this is option number 1, new for 2019, exposed carbon fiber. Remember, this was all just plain flat black. It's a $500 option. You get it all the way from one side to the other side of the car. You have your oil pressure, oil temp. This one also has the tech package, so you get that B&O Harman Kardon system, the navigation. As we go down, here's your AC controls, no heated seats or ventilated seats, and then you have your switch gear launch control. This adjusts the volume of the exhaust. Little cubby, just like before, USB and a 12 volt, and then there's that transmission. I love this Tremec transmission, 6-speed, crisps. The shifts are so crisp and so wonderful. I absolutely, a dream to drive. And then all of this is standard GT350 Mustang appearance in here. It is a little softer, and they kind of went with like a brushed aluminum rather than like a shiny chrome finish. And then the seats. These have the Recaros. I love the gray. I love the pattern, the contrast stitching. Even the back portion, when Tom shows you the back portion, you're gonna fall in love with the GT350 logo embroidered there. Also the openings for any kind of racing harness that you wanna put in this car. One piece, and the great thing is they don't squeeze you like a vice grip. So me being 6 feet tall, I have wide shoulders, I feel good. I feel snug as a bug in this car. I just want to drive off and never be seen again. But we got to keep Rady's Rides going, so why don't you come on over to the business side of things, behind the wheel. All right, guys, I think I know what heaven feels like, because that's what I feel like whenever I'm behind the wheel of one of these GT350s. Seating position's great, all manual controls. You got the Ford Performance logo down here. I wish this was different. I wish it was a little bit different quality to it. It kind of just looks like plastic, even though it's not. But I do like the Ford Performance logo. You get your brushed aluminum pedals down here. I'm gonna zonk the dead pedal. I wish the dead pedal was a little wider than what you see, and I wish it had aluminum on it. Why just cheap black plastic? I can't figure that out, but it's got the third pedal, that magic clutch pedal there for you, and then all the way across to the loud pedal. Very nicely done. Another thing that they just hit the nail on the head is the steering wheel. Love the flat bottom, love the Alcantara, the white contrast stitching, that Shelby Cobra there staring at you in the face is gonna just suck all that venom right into you. It's just gonna bite you right in the neck and you're gonna be dead in a second. But dash layout is the same, no LED. So there's no 12-inch display in here. You're gonna have to go get a GT350. You can go through your different modes with suspension, steering sensitivity, also your different driving modes from sport to track to drag strip, all those good things. But a wonderful feeling in here, lots of headroom. You could get that helmet on, do your track day. But if you're ready, I think we're ready for the best part of it. Let's go ahead and take this for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Walker Ford, sunny Clearwater, Florida, and I'm in a 2019 Shelby GT350, that Voodoo engine on throttle. All the way up, she just screams and screams, and that is what she is made to do. That flat plane crankshaft, remember, forged steel is there to give you that higher RPM availability. That is something that was only made for the hyper exotics. Ford's first foray with a flat plane crank, and they hit the nail on the head. And that's why, to me, the GT350 is the sweet spot and such a special car, because it's the only one available with the 5.2, 526 horsepower, 495 foot-pounds of torque. Like I said though, you're not gonna do 9-second quarter-mile times, but boy, get me on a road course and that's where you do the business. You think Dodge Challenger Demon is gonna follow you around the twisty bits of Sebring Raceway or Road Atlanta Raceway or Laguna Seca? Hell no. The Tremec in this is a little piece of heaven. If you ever want to have heaven in your hand and want to know what that feels like, get behind the wheel of one of these GT350s. Tremec is such a pleasure to shift. That's one of the downsides for me when it comes to the Shelby GT500, is that you don't get a manual option. You only have that Tremec, but it's a 7-speed DCT, dual clutch transmission. Clutch is really easy to operate, quite surprising. I'll be honest, when I got behind the wheel in my first GT350 last year, I thought the clutch was going to be super heavy. It's a snap. It actually feels better than a Mustang GT, believe it or not. And you know, it's all the components that fit together in the perfect performance car. And this thing, when I say perfect, the balance, the usability, you're not chasing up and down that wonderful Tremec. Even though it's wonderful to shift the Tremec, you'd be surprised holding that third gear, having it go all the way up to 8,250 RPM. First of all, it gives you an eargasm, so you better have tissues in the car. But second of all, it allows you just to hold that gear and just take advantage of all that horsepower and torque to get you through the twisty bits. And it's just so freaking wonderful. Like I pointed out earlier, this one has the optional exposed carbon fiber on the dash. Other than that, it's got the tech package, and of course it's got the gas guzzler tax, which is around $1,300, because MPGs in the city, you're looking around 14 miles to the gallon. And Uncle Sam wants his piece of that pie, that's for sure. But rolling away, piece of cake. Remember, you could adjust steering sensitivity, you could adjust throttle response. You have all the different modes from race to track to strip, all done through the flip of a switch. Launch control is there. Everything is so easy to get through. You could even, like I said, stiffen that suspension from sport to normal to sport. It's going to recalibrate everything automatically for you. That's the wonderful thing. I have the steering sensitivity in sport. Merging out onto a road is obviously very easy. The steering has the perfect weight. The thickness of it is just absolutely spot on. It's exactly what your hands were born to do. Your hands were born to grab the wheel of this Shelby GT350. I'll go ahead and put it in sport mode as we go down. And that's the crazy thing, you know. My wonderful subscriber and now friend Andrew, he let me borrow his GT350 for 4 days. You could use this. I know it sounds crazy, but you could use this as a daily driver. Now with the 2019s, if you've been listening, you would know that the 2019 now has Cup 2 tires, the Michelin Super Sport Cup 2s. Those are gonna wear a little bit faster. So you're gonna get much more stick and grip, but you're not gonna get a lot of wear out of them. They're gonna be gone in about 10,000 miles. But if you put a set of maybe the Super Sport 4Ss, you'll be able to daily drive this thing with no problem, and you will have one hell of a street beast as your daily driver. Really smooth, AC's working great. These Recaros hold you like your mother held you as soon as you came out of the womb. If you remember that feeling, you'll love sitting in this car. Nice and easy, don't need to do anything dramatic. It just loves to even just drive around, even at a regular gingerly pace. That's the great thing about it as well. And the sound of the exhaust, if that doesn't make you feel good, then you're not a car person. That's all I gotta say. Just love love the way the throttle, it builds horsepower. That naturally aspirated V8 builds the power so effortlessly. It's wonderful. It's a piece of heaven. Piece of heaven. All right, guys, just doing a little roll around, build up some room in front of me. Second gear. Front end sticks nice. Go a little wide. Come and hit your apex. Third gear. Roll on the throttle. And you are off. And watch that tachometer all the way up. Jesus. Yeah, that just happened. But anyways, this car, absolutely mind-blowing. That's all I can say. Thank you, Walker Ford. Thank you, Weston Walker, Frank Walker, for allowing Rady's Rides to take this car out and just have a little bit of excitement. Wonderful, wonderful. Do you see this? Do you see how it's gripping out of the turn? On throttle, the revs build. 6,000, 7,000. Wonderful. Unbelievable. This car is a dream to drive. Absolute dream. And then remember, you have all the safety features, great ABS that's been tuned for the track. It's just, they did their homework. The Ford engineers did their homework. It's as simple as that. Here we go. Third gear, on the brakes, roll on throttle. You can just hold it all the way around, nice and easy, nice and gingerly hit your apex. Over the ripples, the Magna Ride is like your own race engineer sitting on each corner of the car, tuning the suspension so that you're getting the grip to the ground, you're feeling good, and you're getting ready for your next turn. That's what this freaking car is all about. It is unbelievable. All right, guys, it's been another wonderful day here at Walker Ford. Definitely got to give a huge shout out to Frank Walker, Weston Walker, Tracy, Benji, Mark, Austin, Greg, Denise, what's up? That was one of our subscribers, so thank you. As they're driving by, that's where we get them. So thank you to everybody here at Walker Ford. This car, simply amazing. Wonderful to see that they're not killing it off because of the GT500. And I think it'll be a perfect companion to the GT500, GT500, GT350. But if these are the types of things that you like to see on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. Check out all my different forms of social media. If you want to help support the channel and get yourself some merch, click the link in the description, takes you right to Spreadshirt. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner, sweating it out here in the sun. He's got his nice sunscreen on, his suntan lotion. He's trying to get a nice darker brown for his powerlifting competition. So thank you, Tom. You're looking good. And check him out on @MoschPhotos on Instagram. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.